How's your relationship blossomed throughout the years?
He just dude crazy. He like he just talk a lot of shit, and I just like to sit there. That's my vibe. I like when he pop that shit, man.
Yeah, Beatrice.
You know, a lot of shit that's like go on in BR. You know, a lot of shit stem from New Orleans. You know, that's like where the real gangsters come from. That's where a lot of shit got bloody at first. That's kind of like where we learned a lot of shit from.
He's a little gangster, and he laid back. And talent-wise, when I see him in the studio, he remind me like a young Thug. When Thug was young, you hear me? It's just modern time. When Thug was young, we knew he was gonna be a star.
Right.
He 20 years old. We know this little nigga, and the game is more plentiful now than it was when Thug started. I've been working with Thug 10 years now. Thug 30. NBA YoungBoy 20 years old. And there's more money in the game now than it was when Thug had started. Even though Thug did a lot, but there's more money in the game now for a young nigga like that.
Me and my motherfucking eyes, nigga. What nigga got 1 trillion streams? They wish they could. 1 trillion streams?
Birdman's name has always carried weight in the music industry, but the rumors surrounding his control over NBA YoungBoy are starting to sound like something straight out of a cautionary tale. What was once framed as a mentorship between the Cash Money founder and one of the most unpredictable young stars in hip-hop has now become a story that many believe goes beyond guidance, into territory that feels like control. Behind the scenes, whispers from industry insiders and leaks from supposed associates paint a picture of a relationship built on contracts, dependency, and psychological leverage. According to several unverified claims circulating online, Birdman may have more than just a professional hold on YoungBoy. He allegedly has influence over where he records, how he releases music, and even the business decisions surrounding his brand. The two first connected years ago, when Birdman publicly praised NBA YoungBoy as the top young hustler in the game and hinted at him being the future of hip-hop.
How's your relationship blossomed throughout the years?
He just dude crazy. He like he just talk a lot of shit, and I just like to sit there. That's my vibe. I like when he pop.
At first, it looked like a passing endorsement from one Louisiana legend to another. But as time went on, fans noticed that Birdman's presence around YoungBoy wasn't fading. It was intensifying. Photos, interviews, and behind-the-scenes footage showed Birdman frequently appearing in YB's orbit, even during moments of legal trouble and personal isolation. That closeness made some people raise their eyebrows, especially considering Birdman's long history of complex artist relationships under Cash Money records, from Lil Wayne to Turk to Juvenile, many of which ended in lawsuits or accusations of unfair contracts.
NBA YoungBoy might be the biggest rapper. I say it that. 5 years ago.
What you mean big when you say big?
Ain't no gonna be bigger than NBA YoungBoy. Numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
He the biggest YouTube artist right now in the world. And he
Fast forward to now, and the conversation has shifted from admiration to concern. Reports suggest Birdman may have helped structure certain deals that kept YoungBoy's catalog and profits tied up under entities connected to Birdman's business network. He doesn't respond to rumors, he moves strategically. That's why many in the industry are watching closely, but staying silent. At the same time, this situation shines a light on a bigger issue within the music industry: how veteran moguls maintain control over younger artists under the guise of mentorship. The pattern is clear. They identify raw talent, offer protection and opportunity, then embed themselves in the artist's career structure so deeply that separation becomes nearly impossible. It's a cycle built on power, dependency, and fear. And Birdman's rumored relationship with YoungBoy fits that description too perfectly to ignore. For now, fans are left speculating. Is Birdman protecting his legacy or exploiting another artist's youth? Is YoungBoy complicit, or is he trapped in a system too big to fight? Until one of them breaks their silence, the truth will remain buried under speculation and coded messages. But one thing's for sure: the story of Birdman and NBA YoungBoy is far from over. And the next move either man makes could redefine both of their careers forever. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Fame Flux for more deep dives into hip-hop's hidden power plays, industry secrets, and the untold stories behind the culture's biggest headlines. Lawsuits over unpaid royalties, contract disputes, and accusations of manipulation have surrounded Birdman's name for decades. So when he started calling NBA YoungBoy his little bro and talking about guiding his career, many saw it as a potential repeat of history.
But I'm just saying, when that little boy get his mind right and he come from under this bush and understand who he is, because you know, Thug and all them, they up in age. They 30, it's 20.
But you think that going through ain't doing that but helping him to his path to do that?
Of course.
Yeah.
They ain't making them nothing but a monster.
Insiders say the difference this time is how Birdman adapted his methods to fit a new generation. Instead of traditional contracts and label control, his influence allegedly comes through mentorship and access. Birdman reportedly provides YB with connections, financial backing, and protection in the industry. But in return, he allegedly expects loyalty that borders on exclusivity. Some have described their relationship as paternal, while others call it strategic grooming. According to certain leaked messages circulating online, Birdman has allegedly been the one arranging deals behind closed doors, using his name to open doors while quietly inserting himself into the back end of YB's revenue streams. Another major concern is how isolated NBA YoungBoy has become in recent years. Despite being one of the most streamed rappers in the world, he rarely leaves his home base and has cut off ties with many industry figures. Some believe Birdman's influence plays a role in this, keeping YoungBoy from engaging with people who might encourage him to break free or challenge existing deals. Sources claim Birdman has convinced YoungBoy that most people in the industry want to use him, creating an environment where Birdman appears to be the only one who truly understands him. To many observers, that's not mentorship, that's manipulation. Financially, the numbers also raise questions. Even with massive streaming numbers and a cult-like fan base, YB's net worth seems far lower than expected for an artist of his reach. Industry experts have suggested that multiple revenue streams from his catalog, merchandise, and video content might be filtered through companies partially owned or influenced by Birdman's associates. If true, that would mean YoungBoy's financial independence could be an illusion, his earnings technically passing through layers of management he doesn't fully control. Then there's the legal side. Birdman's name has surfaced in discussions about YoungBoy's ongoing battles with labels and streaming platforms, including rumors that he's been mediating disputes that directly impact the rapper's creative freedom. Some insiders claim Birdman positioned himself as a protector during those negotiations. But in reality, that role gave him even more leverage. Essentially, Birdman may have positioned himself as both mentor and middleman, the one everyone must go through to reach YoungBoy. And as history has shown, once Birdman holds that position, it's nearly impossible to move without his approval. What makes this situation even more concerning is how it's reportedly affecting YoungBoy's mental and emotional state. The rapper has openly expressed frustration with fame, isolation, and feeling trapped in systems he doesn't fully understand. Over the years, he's made multiple statements hinting at regret over his contracts, distrust of the industry, and fatigue from carrying the weight of his success. Many fans now wonder if Birdman's influence is part of what keeps him in this cycle, providing support when it benefits Birdman but pulling strings whenever YoungBoy tries to assert his independence. In several interviews, Birdman has described YoungBoy as a son and someone he's grooming to be the next great mogul. But even those words have raised eyebrows. Critics argue that this language mirrors the way Birdman used to describe Lil Wayne, a dynamic that eventually led to one of the biggest legal disputes in hip-hop history. Just like Wayne, YoungBoy started young, found fame fast, and trusted Birdman's leadership. The pattern feels eerily familiar, mentorship that turns into ownership. And if the rumors are true, YoungBoy may already be deep into agreements that prevent him from fully walking away. Social media sleuths have pointed out how certain business decisions seem to follow Birdman's fingerprints. For instance, specific producers and engineers tied to Cash Money affiliates have been quietly credited on YoungBoy's recent projects. Some contracts allegedly list secondary publishing rights linked to older companies associated with Birdman. Fans also notice that Birdman appears to have influence over how YB's music videos are distributed, especially through platforms with which Birdman already has long-standing relationships. In other words, it's not just mentorship, it's infrastructure control. Then there's the public image factor. Birdman has spent years building his reputation as a boss, a man who creates stars but never loses control. That same energy now surrounds his connection with YoungBoy. Many in the industry suspect Birdman sees YoungBoy as his last major protege, the one who can cement his legacy as both a mogul and mentor in the new generation. However, critics say the cost of that vision might be YB's autonomy. If every move YoungBoy makes is filtered through Birdman's approval, then the idea of him being independent is just an illusion. As rumors spread, even YB's fans have grown protective. Comment sections and fan forums are filled with debates about whether Birdman is helping or hindering him. Some argue that Birdman saved YoungBoy's career during his roughest moments, helping him navigate legal trouble and industry pressure. Others believe Birdman saw an opportunity to latch onto the most streamed rapper of his generation and turn that into long-term leverage. Whatever the truth is, one thing is certain. YoungBoy's future now seems tied to a man whose track record with artists has always been questioned. The business world of hip-hop is filled with power plays, and this one has layers that go far beyond music. According to reports circulating in insider circles, Birdman has allegedly been positioning himself to act as a gatekeeper over YoungBoy's unreleased material, particularly the vault of songs recorded during his early Atlantic Records years. These tracks, many of which were never officially released, reportedly represent millions in potential revenue.
A lot of that's like go on in BR, a lot of this stem from New Orleans. That's like where the real gangsters come from. That's where a lot of shit got bloody at first. That's kind of like where we learned a lot of shit.
Some claim Birdman has used these unreleased masters as bargaining chips, negotiating partnerships with streaming platforms and distributors in exchange for back-end profits. While there's no official paperwork confirming this, several figures connected to the industry claim they've seen similar strategies used before, particularly during Birdman's cash money heyday. What makes this theory believable is Birdman's long-standing pattern of keeping leverage over his artists. During his feud with Lil Wayne, court documents revealed that Birdman retained partial ownership of Wayne's masters long after the rapper tried to exit the label. The same template could easily apply here, just in a more modern format. If Birdman truly has a hand in YB's unreleased material, that means he controls not just the present, but also the future of YB's career. No album rollout, no feature collaboration, and no licensing deal could move forward without Birdman's input, giving him quiet but immense power behind the curtain. Adding to the suspicion are the leaked screenshots that allegedly show Birdman's team communicating with YoungBoy's legal representatives. In those messages, Birdman's name repeatedly appears in discussions about rights management and royalty adjustments. Fans who've analyzed the leaks claim that these messages suggest Birdman might be tied to YB's publishing companies, something that could explain why certain songs have unusual credit listings. Even if these leaks aren't verified, they've already shaped the public narrative. Birdman's grip on YoungBoy might be far tighter than anyone realized. Meanwhile, YoungBoy's recent behavior only fuels the fire. His unpredictable release schedule, constant threats to retire, and cryptic social media posts about being tired of being used have led fans to believe that internal tension is eating away at him. In one now-deleted post, YB wrote about not trusting nobody in business, a message many took as a direct reference to Birdman. Industry veterans have also begun weighing in, with some saying this is just another example of an older mogul exploiting a younger star's vulnerability. Others defend Birdman, saying that he's simply teaching YB how to navigate a ruthless industry. But between the history, the rumors, and the money trail, it's becoming harder to ignore how deep Birdman's influence really runs. The uncomfortable truth is that YB might be the latest artist caught in the never-ending cycle of power and dependency that defines much of hip-hop's business landscape. He's too valuable to let go and too isolated to fight back. If Birdman truly has control over his catalog and contracts, it could take years for YoungBoy to reclaim full independence, just like it did for those who came before him. Now, the question on everyone's mind is, what happens next? If the rumors are true, NBA YoungBoy might be standing at a crossroads between freedom and submission, between being one of the most independent artists in the game or remaining under the shadow of one of hip-hop's most powerful figures. The irony is that YoungBoy's entire career has been built on defiance.
How many more millions we need for that next tour? About 300-400. How much? 300 to 400 million easy. 3 to 400. If they ain't talking that, don't even.
He's never followed the rules of the industry, never relied on big labels, and never bowed to public opinion. Yet here he is, allegedly caught in a web spun by someone who mastered the art of control decades ago. The broader concern for fans isn't just about money or contracts. It's about the toll this kind of situation takes on creativity and mental health. Over the years, YB's music has grown darker, more introspective, and at times, erratic. Some close to him have suggested that the pressure to keep producing, combined with the lack of trust around him, is taking its toll. If Birdman truly has a hand in shaping not only YB's business decisions but also his environment, it raises questions about how much of what the world sees from YoungBoy is truly his own will. Is he making choices as an artist or following guidance from someone who benefits from keeping him in check? Fans have started calling for transparency. Many believe YoungBoy should publicly address the situation and clarify what Birdman's role really is. But others argue that doing so might be impossible, that any open conflict with Birdman could lead to serious consequences, both legally and personally. Birdman's reputation for handling disputes quietly but decisively is well known. He doesn't respond to rumors, he moves strategically. That's why many in the industry are watching closely but staying silent. At the same time, this situation shines a light on a bigger issue within the music industry: how veteran moguls maintain control over younger artists under the guise of mentorship. The pattern is clear: they identify raw talent, offer protection and opportunity, then embed themselves in the artist's career structure so deeply that separation becomes nearly impossible. It's a cycle built on power, dependency, and fear. And Birdman's rumored relationship with YoungBoy fits that description too perfectly to ignore. For now, fans are left speculating. Is Birdman protecting his legacy or exploiting another artist's youth? Is YoungBoy complicit or is he trapped in a system too big to fight? Until one of them breaks their silence, the truth will remain buried under speculation and coded messages. But one thing's for sure: the story of Birdman and NBA YoungBoy is far from over, and the next move either man makes could redefine both of their careers forever. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Fame Flux for more deep dives into hip-hop's hidden power plays, industry secrets, and the untold stories behind the culture's biggest headlines.